You have stumbled into New Hope Underground, one of the most unique church podcasts in cyberspace. Today's episode is entitled, A Zamboni Goes Awry, and Gen Z Speaks Out. Here are your hosts, Darren and Drew Hansen.
What do you mean you don't like structure?
Oh, great. I don't like it because, okay.
You told me you'd rather be entertained by personality than structure.
Yeah, I'd like the old shows, and they'd have, this is the part of the show where someone comes out and does this entertaining thing. No, you hire the person who's the comedian, who's funny, who's just being himself.
Right.
That's what I like.
I see. I think.
You know? So I think we should just do away with all structure and let's just talk
structure
for
whatsoever.
3 hours.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody will love that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll respect
Hey, New Hope
it.
Underground Nation. We're going 3 hours today.
Buckle in.
So what if you've been listening and we've only gone 30, 40, 50? Well, we've gone close to an hour before, but usually not that long.
That's nothing. I listen to podcasts that are 4 hours long sometimes.
I know. There's some of them out there, that's for sure, but not us. You know, we'll keep it a little bit shorter.
Well, I think we
want you to listen to us. We want you to listen to us on your drive home, on your drive to work. We want you to listen to us while you're out walking your dog. We just want you to listen to us no matter what you're doing.
When it's
loading the dishwasher.
When you're dealing with content that's this high in quality, I think the dose is something that you have to be careful of.
Well, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You know, it's good to listen to us.
You know, like there's a shameless plug.
Welcome to New Hope Underground. I'm Darren.
Hey, I'm Drew.
And we're back with another episode 4. I said episode 4 last time, but it wasn't. It was only episode 3. So I always mess that stuff up.
Take the clip out from the intro and bring it into this one.
The last one, I mean, I swore like this season I'm gonna start off gangbusters,
right,
and not make so many mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just made a mistake there with that saying the word gangbusters.
That's all right. You tried.
But I made a mistake with saying it was episode 4, and it wasn't. It was only episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I also made a mistake of I changed the name of the episode, but I didn't change it with the introduction robot at the beginning.
Right. You mean your staff didn't?
Yeah, my staff which is me. And then
no, this is a big production.
And anyway, so it went out that way. It reminded me of what Brian Regan was talking about. The guy that
a comedian.
Yeah, he was talking. The comedian was talking about the ice cream guy at the ice cream plant. And he's like serving size.
Oh yeah, he was complaining about the serving size being like a half a cup of ice cream. It's like, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I can't remember.
That's all right.
Oh well.
Go check out Brian Regan.
He made a mistake on the label, and he's like, they're going out that way.
Oh yeah. Man, I have a hard time. I haven't watched his stuff in a long time.
I know. It's old, I guess. Getting older.
Yeah, you got to keep up. That Brian Regan's out.
So yeah, but it went out that way is what I'm trying to say with the wrong label, basically. Right. But I fixed it later. I remember.
Okay, they're just I changed it and they're just going out.
They're going out that way.
Yeah, they're just going out to the people.
It definitely went out that way last week with the wrong label. But anyway, hope you had a good time with it. I fixed it later, but by that time, I think a lot of people already downloaded it. But
I think people would be shocked to find out that you've made mistakes.
I know, it's hard to believe, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very hard to believe. So, you're back at school. I'm having a good time with French. We've been talking about French.
Am I having
a
good time with it? That's an interesting question. Am I an anxious wreck all the time? Sure.
Well, is that? Yeah, okay. So that means good.
Yeah, it's a normal school during a pandemic.
Well, I think if you're a French major, I would think stress and anxiety is just the least of your worries.
Yeah, you would think.
I don't know how you do it. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn a language and get a degree at the same time. That's not
so. Welcome everybody to New Hope Underground in French. Go ahead.
Bienvenue à tous. New Hope Underground. There's no.
You don't even say New Hope Underground with a French accent. Come on.
Well, it's New Hope Underground.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds a lot more official that way, in my opinion.
L'espoir nouvelle.
A lot more
Sur la
official.
terre. There, that's actually New Hope Underground. There you go.
We've been doing a lot of French here lately, so And if you want to speak more French, go move to Alex, Quebec, which is a new name for asbestos,
Right,
Quebec.
asbestos.
And I've been talking about that. But anyway, hey, we were talking about pumpkin spice lattes and telling people, hey, all you got to do is just message us at
Anybody
New
yet?
Hope Underground. One person
Yes.
did, but Bree Griffith, and we sent her right away. I sent her right away a Starbucks gift card for the PSL. However, I'm willing to give one more out if somebody wants to still say something. No one else has.
We need to put this in the show notes.
All you got to do is say, I want a PSL. That's all you got to do. And you send it to at New Hope Underground on Instagram, direct message, or direct message to Facebook, or put it on our Facebook page. We don't care. Just so we see it. It's at New Hope Underground. And we also have a new Facebook group out there for our whole podcast network. So if you want to look up on Facebook, New Hope Podcast Network, you can join that group and get updates on all the different podcasts and the things that are going to be happening with that. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I want to give Ty Griffith, who was a guest on our show 2 weeks ago, give him a little thank you for putting that together. And we would continue to thank Michaela Hansen for her work for our social media. So we got all sorts of Hansens behind the scenes working.
It's as if we're a big family.
And it's as if we're busy doing stuff. But hey, so I got a story today.
Okay.
This is really interesting. Actually, it's really a news story. It only came out about a couple hours ago.
Oh, this is hot off the press.
This is hot.
Hot take.
And what's really interesting about this being a hot take, it's about fire. So, yeah, it's a real hot take.
That works.
But have you ever been, you've been to a hockey game. You went with me a couple of times.
I've been to several, yeah.
Have you ever been to, we went to Illinois games, Illini hockey games.
My favorite hockey game I ever went to was Peoria Rivermen.
Oh, yeah.
That's because the Newsboys played after.
That's right.
And I was really hoping someone would just lay out the Newsboys, like in a, body check them.
That was just the most surreal experience.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was weird.
They put like a stage over the empty seats on the end of the rink, and everybody was sitting on the sides watching the Newsboys play on the stage at the end of the rink over the seat. It was just really kind of weird.
It was just weird that they were at a minor league hockey game.
Yeah, it was. The whole thing was weird. What I remember about the minor league hockey game was that you could see guys like talking to each other on the ice, and they're like, okay, it's time to fight, and they just start fighting.
Yeah,
because
if you know the Newsboys are playing, you got to put on a better show than them.
Well, anyway, I love hockey and love everything about it. And I'm a big Blues fan, and we won the Stanley Cup last year, and then went out the first round this year. But anyway,
You digress.
I digress. That's right. So, but at the Illinois hockey games, they're a lot of fun. I love going to those games because the crowd's hilarious.
Yeah, it's small.
And they've got a few like traditions. Can you tell me a couple of them? Do you know?
Yeah, I've been to one or two. I remember. I'm trying to think. I remember there being this like when what's the song, the Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, Neil Diamond.
Yeah, they played the Neil Diamond song whenever the Zamboni comes out.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it never gets to that point. The Zamboni guy honks his horn and people go crazy.
Yep. And people go crazy. So the Zamboni guy.
Zamboni guy's
so
cool.
Zamboni machine now, in case somebody doesn't know, never heard of a Zamboni machine before because you've been living under a rock or something. Zamboni machine is basically an ice smoother, or it actually puts water down on the ice rink to freeze it on top of the ice to kind of keep the ice from becoming slushy. And they do that in between each period of a hockey game. So the Zamboni guy comes out and
Freshen the ice.
yeah, just kind of drives it around on top of the ice and then goes out into the maintenance area. Well, there was a youth hockey game going on in Rochester, New York. Here, just like I said, just reported a couple hours ago. And apparently there's a video of the Zamboni just catching on fire.
Oh, no.
Going aflame. And the guy's still driving it.
He's just driving it while it's on fire?
Yeah, it's like... And so you can check out this video if you want. Just go to YouTube. Yeah, I'm sure you can can find it on YouTube somewhere. But Rochester, New York, a Zamboni caught on camera bursting into flames on an ice rink in New York while the driver rode it.
He's committed to that Zamboni.
Yeah, it happened during a youth hockey practice, and according to sources, the driver was using the Zamboni to clean the ice rink, of course, there in Rochester, New York. And they said, fortunately, no one was hurt, including the driver, who continued to driving the machine off the rink to the maintenance area while it was on fire. He knew it. I mean, he knew it was on fire.
You know, I think ever since I saw the Zamboni for the first time, it's a big piece of machinery, and everyone wants to get their hands on it at some point.
Yeah.
But it's not for the faint of heart, you know? Anything can go horribly wrong at any point.
So I just wonder if Sweet Caroline was playing when all of a sudden this thing burst into flames.
Sweet Caroline.
Bump, bump. Yeah. So it bursts into flames. The guy drives it off. This guy's pretty brave. He drives it off into the maintenance area, and then they get the fire put out. But it said that he put the fire out himself. And if you look at the video, it's a pretty big fire. I mean, it's not like just a small little fire. And he said when the fire department got there, they helped him get the Zamboni outside and made sure the fire was completely out. So I guess they took it outside and totally soaked it. But
if you're going to drive a Zamboni, you got to be 100% committed. You got to be willing to risk your life for the ice, man.
Well, I just think it's amazing that see this big fireball and it's surrounded by nothing but ice.
Fire and ice.
And I wonder what that did to the hockey surface.
I don't know.
Zamboni probably wasn't really doing its job right there.
Probably not. He was probably more worried about not dying than...
The Zamboni helps refreeze the ice, but in this case...
They got a backup
melting
Zamboni.
The ice. The youth hockey teams was surrounding it and roasting marshmallows. Okay, maybe not. But you might as well make the best.
I think this might be
if you can serve lemons, make lemonade.
I think this might be our first story in a while that doesn't involve animals.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
I kept waiting for and then it accidentally was stampeded by 400 sheep or
killer
something.
Whales came out from underneath the ice rink. Yeah, we talk about sheep, we talk about goats, cows, everything. All sorts of barnyard animals, exotic animals. With Dr. Reed,
we just have a Zamboni in the wild.
Now it's just Zamboni on fire. Anyway, check out that video. It's a good one.
I will.
And the reason you can watch it and have a good time with it is nobody got hurt, so it's good. But youth hockey game, Rochester, New York. Zamboni goes aflame.
I know you're saying that and you genuinely mean it. Because no one got hurt, it's more fun to watch. But it is pretty funny. Like America's Funniest Home Videos, when someone gets hurt, it's pretty funny. And someone falls over.
I think that I'm okay with all of those. It's the things that this caught on fire. I mean,
yeah,
somebody could really die.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of cartoons, maybe.
Well, we talked about the cows running over those guys. I mean, that was terrible.
Yeah. It was awful. I shouldn't laugh.
Come to think of it, it seems like a lot of news out there is pretty dastardly in the end.
You should not invite
for somebody.
You should not have me as the co-host because I'm holding back a lot of laughs right now.
You're holding it back.
I laugh when people do something stupid.
Well, I love hockey. I love Zambonis, and I love Zambonis on fire. Hey, a new feature. That's right. It's a new season here on New Hope Underground, and now we have a new feature. And this new feature is called Gen Z Speaks Out. So, I'd like to welcome my guest, Brady Hanson.
Hello.
What's up, Brady?
Not much.
Now, not too long ago, a few episodes, well, I think it might have been the end of season 2, we were talking about some differences between millennials and Gen Z. You were on here along with your brother.
Yeah.
There was some discussion. And so I thought it would be interesting to have your own little feature on just, you being kind of the ambassador, if you will, on behalf of an entire generation.
So I'm the Gen Z spokesperson.
Yes, you are. Pretty
Okay.
much the Gen Z spokesperson, at least on this podcast.
Okay.
You are. And so we're going to do a thing called overrated, underrated. All right. I'm going to throw out a topic or just a name or a brand or something that you've heard of.
Okay.
And you're going to tell me, what does Gen Z think about it right now in 2020?
I am Gen Z, so
Right.
Okay.
Is it overrated or is it underrated?
Okay.
In your opinion, as a generation?
Okay. So I am speaking as the whole generation itself, not just myself.
Right. Yeah. You can't just
Okay.
you have to kind of think through this and give the answer as you think it fits everybody in your generation.
Okay.
Do you as a collective whole think that, for instance, number one here, plant-based burgers, big thing right now.
Plant-based burgers?
Burgers made out of plants.
I'm just going to say overrated.
It's overrated. So
I think so, yeah.
Gen Z doesn't really care as much about it.
I feel like that's more of a millennial thing.
Now, why do you think guys don't care as much about it?
I don't know. It just doesn't taste good.
Yeah, it's the taste.
It's just the taste. See, we don't have any like in-depth things. Is it healthy? Is it not? It's more of, is it good?
Okay. So you don't think there's any health nuts when it comes to Gen Z?
I mean, I'm sure there can be a few. I'm not saying that there's no one,
Right.
no Gen Zer that's.
But they're not passionate
health nut.
about plant-based burgers.
I don't think there's anyone.
You think they're overrated?
There shouldn't be anyone who's passionate about plant-based burgers.
Okay. You heard it right here, folks. All of Generation Z thinks, on plant-based burgers. All right. How about meme-inspired clothing?
Inspired.
Meme. M-E-M-E.
Oh gosh. Okay. So that's underrated, I feel like, for Gen Z.
So you like to see more of it?
I think so, yeah. I think there's a lot of talk about it, but I don't think anyone really falls through, which...
So if you had to, let's say, get a Christmas sweater made of a particular meme,
Okay.
what would it be?
What would my meme be?
Yeah.
Oh,
Any idea?
gosh.
Anything on the top of your head?
That's the thing with Gen Zers. There's always so many memes, but personally, I can't just think of one off the top of my head like that. There's
Now,
just so many.
Are there common memes, though, that everybody likes kind of thing?
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of the memes that are newer are more of like a certain picture that they put with different captions rather than just like, I don't know. So it's kind of hard to describe the picture. So.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, if you during this interview, if you think of what your Christmas sweater ought to be.
My Christmas sweater meme.
How about this? What does Gen Z think about prank videos?
Prank videos?
Overrated, underrated?
Oh gosh. Probably underrated, honestly.
Yeah, it seems to me, I put that on there on purpose because it seems like your generation just eats that stuff up.
See, I'm always watching videos like that. And I feel like I always show those videos to my friends who are also other Gen Zers, and they always love it too. So
Prank videos, fail videos.
That's
what other kind of videos? Like, is there another?
I don't know, but personally, all I'm watching are fail videos. And
it seems like
videos,
It seems like there's a lot of people right now who are just making prank videos out of their house, just trying to get views.
Yeah. So
they're like, wait for it, and it takes like 10 minutes, and they finally boo, and there's like a scare.
Watch till the end.
Yeah,
something like that.
Wait for it. Okay, how about Hillsong Worship?
Hillsong Worship.
Overrated, underrated with Gen Z.
Hillsong Worship or Hillsong Young?
All I said was
Hillsong Worship.
You can clarify it if you want.
Oh gosh. I think Hillsong Worship is overrated. Hillsong Young and Free is underrated.
Gotcha. So you're very specific.
Specific, yeah.
So most of the Hillsong stuff is like, okay, that's old.
Yeah, that's old. That's millennial stuff right there.
There you go. But
it's a new generation.
Young and Free, you're loving that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, how about Harry Styles? Overrated, underrated? As a generation.
As a generation. Oh gosh. I feel like it varies with him. See, when he was with One Direction, I feel like that was underrated. Now that he's kind of on his own,
he's overrated. Huh?
He's overrated a little bit.
Is he getting a little old with the generation? Like,
I think so.
Kind of tired of him.
I am personally tired of him. Yes,
he's still like in the top 20.
Yeah, he's got that watermelon sugar song that's out right now. That's
How about that song? Overrated, underrated?
That song, it was underrated at first, but now it's on everywhere. So
Tired of it.
Yeah.
All right. How about this? Eating raw cookie dough. Overrated,
Oh, gosh.
underrated?
Underrated.
Totally underrated.
Totally underrated. I don't even have to think twice
This isn't just
about
you.
that.
This is your generation.
Yeah, the whole generation all eats raw cookie dough all the time.
TikTok. That's an obvious.
That's
one.
obvious, underrated. Yeah. And
So it's still going up.
Oh yeah, even though
Yeah.
they're getting rid of the app in the U.S., I feel like it's still going up.
Still, the interest is still.
Oh yeah.
What about Jimmy Fallon?
Oh, interesting.
'Cause there seems like to be a lot of new late night shows and stuff on, and I'm just curious. How does Gen Z feel about Jimmy Fallon right now? Overrated.
Gen Z as a
underrated?
whole, man, I think they're probably indifferent. I feel like the Tonight Show I think is more of like outreach towards millennials, but at the same time I feel like a lot of Gen Zers don't really take the time to just like watch Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show, you know.
Right.
But if they did, I think it would be underrated.
So like Jimmy Fallon clips.
Jimmy Fallon clips.
Like they always have those clips on.
Yeah.
So your generation may watch that. You're not going to sit there and watch a show.
Yeah. You see, we'd watch the videos that we'd find on YouTube. We wouldn't necessarily watch.
Whole TV shows would be totally overrated because you guys don't sit. When you're saying your generation doesn't like to sit there and watch the whole thing.
So whole TV shows overrated, but we find so many different things on YouTube.
Any other
different
late
videos.
night show other than or host other than Jimmy Fallon that seems to be a hit with, like Trevor Noah, big time with Gen Z. Don't care. Have you ever heard of him?
I don't even know who that is.
Okay, he's supposed to be the young guy, I guess. But okay.
I don't
How
know.
about live TV?
Live TV? Oh, that's definitely overrated. That's for the older generations.
That's long gone, huh?
Yeah.
How about voice phone calls? Do you guys?
Nope. No talking over the phone. It's all text. That's how Gen Z is.
Talking over a podcast is okay, but I'm not talking to you on the phone.
Yeah. See, we'll listen to podcasts sometimes, but no.
What about Bible apps?
Bible apps? Oh, that's underrated. I feel like Gen Zers as a whole don't like to carry around Bibles. We'd rather be on our phone where it's easily accessible.
Yeah, I don't see too many people your age with the Bible.
Yeah.
At church. Okay. How about, this is one I'm really interested in. You ready?
Okay.
I just never thought about this until I wrote it down. I'm like, yeah, I really don't know what Gen Z thinks about this.
Okay.
McDonald's.
Whoa.
Just in general.
Oh, in general, man, that's a tough one. Gen Z as a whole, what is McDonald's overrated or underrated? Oh gosh, I'm gonna say it's still underrated. The only reason why is so like our generation's going through college and everything. They don't really have a whole lot of money. McDonald's is cheap, so I'd still say underrated for now.
Just like we'd rather not eat there, but we're going to because we can afford it.
It's cheap. So
okay, how about family vacations?
whoa, family vacations.
I think Gen Zers like that. Like, would still like going on a family vacation.
I think going on vacation in general is underrated. With the family, it's a little overrated because we'd rather, I don't know, not be with the family on vacation.
Okay, that's fair enough. How about watching the news?
Watching the news.
Or even getting
who does that?
dialing up the news on a web page or on an app or something.
I don't.
Nobody cares.
Sad, but I don't think Gen Z really cares.
Interesting. Seems like but it seems like politics is kind of a hot thing for Gen Z, but they don't pay attention to the news.
Yeah, see, there are definitely Gen Zers out there that do watch the news sometimes, do care about politics, but they don't necessarily know.
It's not like they watch it all the time.
They don't know. It's not something they just choose to watch. I guess they just stumble upon it and find it interesting.
Okay, here's your last one.
Okay.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh my.
Overrated, underrated with your generation.
With my generation.
Does your generation even know who they are?
Here's the thing. This is sad, but I don't think Gen Z really knows Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What?
Yeah. So, like, I know them because obviously I have 3 older siblings that are all millennial. So, like, I know some stuff like that.
But you could talk about them like with friends and they'd have no idea what you're talking about.
See, I actually met someone the other day who had no idea who the Ninja Turtles were. And I was like, what?
So they don't realize that Vanilla Ice actually appeared on one of those movies.
They don't know that. They don't know those wonderful, magnificent.
Do they even know who Vanilla Ice is?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
They know who, like, I don't even know, like Drake, the singer is. You know, Drake, we don't know Vanilla Ice.
Oh, come on.
So,
well, I appreciate your honesty. Listen, everyone, sometimes you just got to sit down with the generations, talk to them, and then just expect that everyone in their generation agrees with them 100%, just like we do with the Brady.
Yeah.
He's the ambassador. He's the spokesperson.
Spokesperson of Gen Z.
Hey, thanks for being on.
Yeah, of course.
So we have some stuff coming up in New Hope Church, that's for sure. We've been talking about for the last few weeks these specialty groups. You can go to newhopechurch.cc/specialty groups and check them out. And there are quite a few of these topic-based groups. Some are Zoom, some are live, some have both. They're kind of like hybrids. So you can, if you want to zoom into a class that's live and still watch it. So anyway, check them out. Now, there are a few of them that are already getting started, but there's some that are haven't yet started. And even if it has started, you want to jump in, just go to that /specialty groups part of the website and hit register for the specialty group that you want to join, and we'll get you involved right away. Please check those out. That's a great opportunity. Also, I'm starting up my trivia nights again.
Oh, good.
I've got one actually today. We're recording on a Thursday. It's October 15th. Actually have one tomorrow night, October 16th at 180. And so it's going to be coming up, I think, on the third Friday night of November. So
on those weeks, I should give you a little practice trivia on the podcast.
That'd be great.
Just to warm
me up.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we should totally do that.
Yeah.
So on the third Friday night of November, which I believe is, gosh, I'm trying to think of the dates here.
Well, the first is a Sunday.
I think it's the 20th of November.
It would probably be the 19th.
19th?
A Friday?
I'm just going to pull up my calendar. I should have done that to begin with. But yeah, it's the 20th.
Oh, okay.
November 20th, Friday night. And we'll be at 180. And it's 7 p.m. And anybody who wants to come can come for trivia night. And we just split up teams and have a good time. And it's general trivia. It's not just Bible trivia or anything like that. It's general trivia. And so, hey, we also have Shelbyville coming up again.
November 1st.
It's, what do we call, what's our official name? First Sundays.
First Sundays, yeah.
And so Drew leads worship for the Shelbyville campus.
Yeah, there's a whole team in Shelbyville that people in charge of kids. So we provide like the kids ministry, which is huge, I think. And then Pastor Van or Tyler is usually preaching. You've preached there.
Actually,
before.
I'm preaching there November 1st. Yeah.
Good. So come one, come all.
Yeah, come one, come all. It's going to be a great time. We'll have a great time in Shelbyville once again. That's at 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
At
Some good
the
people out in
Spruce
Shelbyville.
Street Studios.
Yeah,
in
Spruce Street
Shelbyville.
Studios. It's an old church, so it feels like old church, you know?
If you can't find it, it's on Spruce Street.
And it's the studios right there.
It's a studio that's right there on Spruce Street. Okay. Well, hey, we've got Jesus Talk, and this time we're going to mix it up. I'm not going to be instigating Jesus Talk. It's going to be Drew.
What?
You're instigating Jesus Talk.
I am?
You're instigating it.
I'll do my
How
best.
can you get into heaven by playing board games? I'm sorry, we're quoting an old video, but go ahead.
Okay. No, so yeah, Jesus Talk. So I'm not a preacher for the last 20 plus years. So I'm not as versed at this as you are.
Oh, you do great.
No, but because of that,
It's just Jesus Talk. It's not like
no,
Jesus
but because
sermon.
of that, like I'd rather it be conversation. Like I just want to have a conversation.
Okay.
I want to bring something up and get your take on it as well. And I'll have some thoughts of my own.
Cool.
But as Christians, at some point you wrestle with the question, like, what do you do when you feel maybe fed up with God, fed up with religion, fed up with church? I bring that up because it's not an easy thing to talk about. It's not talked about very often.
Right.
Because it admits that maybe you're not as good of a Christian as you think.
But if everybody would admit it, they would admit that
at some point
they
you're
wrestle
going to
with
deal
this
with
at some point in your life.
And I think that's something that a lot of people my age are dealing with. My age and a little younger too. But a lot of people my age are pretty ambitious. They're really busy. They're creating their own careers, their own lives, their own families.
Sure.
And some people just kind of feel like invincible, young. So I think there's kind of this general sense for young people that, we don't really need God to live a decent life.
Yeah, why don't you flesh out a little bit about what you mean by fed up?
Yeah. Okay, so we live in like a social media age.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that has really affected maybe the right word, personal communication within the church. Right?
Okay.
So a lot of the kind of like you're kind of forced to be bombarded with a lot of religious talk, thoughts that you don't agree with. Maybe it's wrapped up in political stuff. Maybe it's wrapped up in doctrinal stuff that you struggle with.
And people of every religious variety are on social media.
Yeah.
So.
And then the rise of new atheism has really affected people my age, I think. Newly educated or just left home not too long ago, trying to figure out how to wrestle with God and how to, whether or not you really believe in things. So it's really difficult. So fed up with God, I guess, would be like you don't necessarily think the same way you did as a child, and you don't know what to do about it anymore. Because I think for so long you just kind of try to justify your beliefs, and then you hit a point where you struggle to do that. So the natural step then is to abandon it and to just kind of be like, well, I'm fed up with it because I can't figure out a way to make you work with my new outlook on life.
Right.
You as in God. I can't find a way to make God work for me.
Right. Well, at the beginning of your comments, that was interesting. You said fed up with God, the church, and
just religion.
Religion.
Yeah.
And honestly, those aren't the same things.
Right.
So, and I think that's part of where the discussion needs to go. Because I think way too many people put all that together.
Yes. Yeah, I think there's a reason.
So God gets the
separately.
blame for bad religion, and God gets the blame for bad church, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I think people put them all together, and maybe that's a cultural thing, like because it's so ingrained in you as a kid because you've been brought up with it. Like you go to your grandma who's been going to church forever, and she takes you to church with her, and like it becomes part of your family, becomes part of the way you live and see the world. And that's a good thing, but
well, is it?
I think it can be.
It's good. Quite if you're viewing God through a lens of only the lens you grew up in, in other words, you're equating God with whatever church experience you had.
Yeah.
Is that really a good thing?
No, ultimately no, but it doesn't have to threaten how God sees you and how you see God, your relationship there. It doesn't have to threaten it. But I think so many people, the easy thing to do is to get rid of all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right, but I also think that's worth the discussion.
Yeah.
Because I think there's so many people who have what they would consider good reasons as to maybe turn their back on what they would consider a childish faith.
Mm-hmm.
But it also makes you wonder what their definitions are.
Yes, I think the devil is in the details with these things.
Yeah.
Definition of terms is important because that'll tell you what do you mean by God? What do you mean by church? What do you mean by religion? And what do you mean you don't like? You have to. This becomes not just a generational problem. It has to become a very personal problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just amazing to me when I've had discussions with other people about concerning some of these things, how much of it are talking points that they recite back.
Yeah.
What I mean is they've kind of made the church a straw man.
Yeah.
Or they've made God a straw man.
I think,
in other words, the stuff that's easy to knock down, they knock down.
And I think they learned that, obviously. They
Right.
learned that through social media and YouTube age. They learn the arguments. That sounds convincing. You repeat the arguments because that helps you organize your chaos to make you feel better. And I think that's usually what people are trying to do when they struggle with things. Things are feeling chaotic, so you need to try to put things back together. It's a lot easier to... Sometimes I think people think it's just a lot easier to not have God in the picture to put things back together because then you can organize it the way you want. If that makes sense. I know that's a little abstract, but
I think it's somewhat ironic, though, that they're adopting just other types of pithy statements.
yeah.
From the ones that they reject.
No,
And-
for sure. I think that sheds light on a more of shallow thinking and for that person in general, as opposed to how they view religion or something like that. I think that's just a flaw in their own thinking.
Well, I
total.
want to continue this discussion. Maybe we can get a little bit more specific next time.
Yeah.
With
It's going to get too long.
because it's fine.
I do have a point though that I wanted to make.
Go ahead.
There's a reason I kind of brought it up because it could go on forever, but I just want to say it's super normal for you to have those thoughts because I've been there, and it's sometimes you still have to deal with it. Like Psalm, I was reading it. David feels far from God, right? That's constantly in the Psalm 13 or whatever, and like. He dealt with it. You can deal with it too. The church is big enough for your problems as well. Like you have to remember that.
Yeah, that's good.
And the key to it is like seek humility, like Jesus. So that's how it's like Jesus talk. I would say Jesus is very humble. So I think taking that stance first will then help you find some answers with those things.
Yeah, that's really good. And we would talk about this subject some more and get into some more specifics, but I think that's a really good way to start off by saying, when we approach this discussion at all about just faith in God or whether or not church is valid, that kind of thing, with humility, if we would just approach it in that way and have civil discussion, I think we're going to find out that there's a lot of truth there in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, I think a scripture that really has helped me, and I'm not a Bible scholar, but Isaiah 55. Remember that scripture is super popular. Is like his ways are not your ways. His thoughts are not your thoughts. That is
his
like
ways
something,
are higher than your ways.
Yes, exactly. That kind of attitude taken within as you interact with the things of Jesus. I don't know, it's a good place to start.
No, that's a really good place to start. Hey, good stuff. Hey, thank you for joining us for this episode. And we'll be back next week, and we'll have some more Jesus talk at the end, and we'll continue this discussion.